Let's move on back to Nvidia again. So you were talking about Nvidia getting smacked today because Google might steal away a piece of their business. Larry Goldberg and I had an amazing conversation last night about the popping this huge bubble or whatever, and we went back and forth about a lot of things. But one of the things we talked about was that there may be a day. You kind of alluded to it. There might be a day when Nvidia's margins are not as high as they are. They might have a day when their sales are not increasing as fast as they are. And so their earnings might not be increasing as fast. And I think this is what the street is seeing, why the street is nervous, are as easily persuaded to get out, is when they see any evidence that this is going to be sooner rather than later. And I think that's what happened with the Google announcement, or what would you even call it? It wasn't even an announcement. The kind of, well, maybe someday, in the future, we might buy some TPUs. So is that how you see it? Do you believe the bubble, there's no such thing as a bubble here, or that at least it's years and years before we'll see any impact?
So, all right, so you'll have people that will say there's always a bubble, it's just how big it is, okay? Sure. If you want to think that way, then sure, we're in a bubble, but the question is how big is it? In my opinion, with everything that's going on, I don't think we've even started the first inning of the game. All right. So, and I don't think you'll find anyone else say that. All right. This is what I'm saying right now is not an easy thing to say in this current bubble talk. Everything's overpriced. Are there debt issues? Are they depreciating, fraud, and all that? What I'm saying is not an easy thing to say. All right. But hear me out. If you're gonna say that there's always a bubble, I think we're still warming up for the game. In my opinion, I'm not someone who thinks there's always a bubble kind of thing. My opinion is that there is no bubble, and that what we're seeing is the foundation being built for an entire new era. I've been ranting all night, but let me continue on that.
Right, go for it.
So, people need to understand that what's happening right now, you're not going to see this amazing application to come out overnight that's obviously going to be this amazing profit generating thing that Wall Street wants. That's what Wall Street wants. Wall Street wants the easy button because they don't want to do homework. They don't want to understand what's happening. But what's happening right now is every single company in the world, whether it's a t-shirt maker, whether it's a publisher, whether it's a nursery, whether it's a tech company, whether it's a tax company, whether it's a law firm, every single company right now is being disrupted in some form, right? It doesn't mean like we're not going to have lawyers. It doesn't mean we're not going to have, gardeners, things like that. But their standard operating procedures internally, the way they go about doing their tasks day to day, all of that is fundamentally changing, right? From HR teams to research teams to, research teams for medical companies, everything's changing because all of a sudden they have these new tool sets or they have these new automation that they can inject that's can actually reason, right? So all that stuff's happening under the covers. And Wall Street doesn't see it. It's not the sexy thing, okay? It's literally the plumbing and the electrical that's behind your drywall that you don't see. But it's the most critical part of everything within your house, right? You need your gas lines, you need your electrical lines, you need your Ethernet, you need your plumbing, you need your gray water line, your black water line. All this stuff is so critical. You need your water supply. All that's so critical. And Wall Street doesn't care about it. Wall Street just wants to see, I just want to see that fridge that's sitting there that just magically gives me water and just magically has electricity to it. That's what they want to see. But right now we are working on the foundation of everything before we can get to the good stuff, right? To the shiny, bright stuff. And so to me, we are just getting started. This is all just now happening. Nvidia is the clear leader by far. Jensen has been saying this over and over. There's no other company that designs a GPU the way Nvidia does that works for everybody, for every model, from Google to Amazon to Anthropic to OpenAI to Tesla to xAI to DeepSeek to all the Chinese companies. There's only one company has been able to kind of find a way to make this ubiquitous, and that's Nvidia. It's so rare. They have such a niche product that somehow is scalable in application. Like, just think about that for a second.
Yeah.
It is so condensed and so niche, so myopic what they do, but its use, its leverage is unprecedented. Right? Look at Tesla. They build chips. They build software that's very unique, very niche, but it only works for them.
Yeah.
Right? It's a one-trick pony, but damn, does it do that trick really well.
And there's
Nvidia,
maybe the largest product in the history of mankind that will
fair.
require that chip.
But so Nvidia is not going anywhere, and demand is only going to grow. Demand is going to grow exponentially. All right. This is not going to slow down at all. The only thing that I see that will get in the way of all this will be fear, like we saw the last few days, or when DeepSeek happened, they thought, oh, China is going to run away with this. At the end of the day, there's a few things that are going to keep this momentum going. One, just keeping it simple, stupid method, KISS method. It's us versus China. At the end of the day, that alone will keep things moving, right? Doesn't mean we're going to bail companies out. I'll David Sachs to Sam Altman. We're not going to bail anyone out. In fact, we don't want that, right? We want a Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk type competition energy, right? Mm-hmm. That's what we want in America, ideally. But if China needs to be a rival, we'll take that. So that's one thing. The second thing that's going to keep this going is that we know today that this is real. It's not the metaverse. It's not some fad. It's not a gigapet or whatever other trendy thing has happened before. This is real and this is disruptive. Mm-hmm. And everybody knows that they can either be a leader in it or they can get left behind. Mm-hmm. Right? Now, the other thing that's going to keep this going is that you have a once in a lifetime opportunity. And when I say you, I mean these companies do. Look, there's only really one search engine. It's Google. There's really only 2 or 3 phone companies, right? You got Apple, you got Android, you got Huawei. Maybe you got a handful of other in China, but really you could argue there's only one because Apple takes all of the profits. Laptops or laptop software, right? You got Microsoft, you got Apple. That's pretty much it. Social media, you essentially have Meta and TikTok. YouTube doesn't even have any competition. It's just YouTube. Clouds, you got essentially 3, Azure, AWS, and GCP. Music streaming, you essentially have Spotify. Streaming services, you got Netflix and Hulu and Prime, right? My point is you got anywhere from 1 to maybe at max 4 companies that dominate any new technological wave era disruption. Mm-hmm. All these companies know that. All the Mag 7 companies are highly aware of this. They do not want to be left behind. They want to make sure they are one of the 4, if not the one. Mm-hmm. And they will fight tooth and nail for that. They will not cede this. So I think this will continue for that as well. And the final reason I'll say this will not end is because our economy needs it. You know, I get really upset when everybody keeps saying, well, if you backed out all the AI spending, then, you know, we would actually be negative with GDP and growth. It's like, okay, but you can't do that. We have spent that money and you don't know what the counterfactual is. Yeah. If you didn't spend it on that and AI didn't exist, what would we have spent it on? You don't know.
Right.
Maybe we spent it on bridges. Maybe we spent it on other data centers. Maybe we spent it on, I don't know, maybe autonomy's here sooner. Who knows? Like we have no idea where the money could have been spent, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we'd be negative. Now, we do know that is a fact that a lot of our growth is coming because the majority of our growth, if not all of it, is coming because of AI. And so in knowing that, do you really think that is what anyone's going to allow to slow down? You think this administration is going to allow that to slow down? No, no, no. If anything, the opposite. We're going to continue and we're going to ride that pony all the way home. The US economy, AI is equivalent as if the US economy is to Nvidia as AI spend and growth is to the GPU for Nvidia. Right? So for us, our GPU as a country is AI. Nvidia's is their GPU. It's a one-trick pony, but damn it, if that one-trick pony doesn't print money. And I think it's going to continue. We got all these forces, all these mechanisms, whether it's regional power contention, whether it's the top companies in the world making sure that they are viable in this new era, or whether it's the US economy, the biggest economy in the world, seeing that all of its growth is coming from this one industry. It's not going to let up. There is no bubble. The people putting all the money behind this are the most profitable companies in the world. OpenAI, not so much. Anthropic, not so much. But all the rest, they are. And they're backed by other people who are making a bunch of money. So I don't know. Randy, to me, everything that's been happening is manipulation. It's a pullback. It's an opportunity. And, in life, you got to take risks. And I hope people took a shot. Today, I didn't pick up, but I sold a bunch of puts on Nvidia. If you guys don't know, join my course. But essentially, selling puts is very bullish. It's a very bullish position to take. But it's the easiest trade. I'm already up 50% on that trade in less than a day. It was stupid easy. I called it out to my subscribers. I even posted it afterwards on X. Do not bet against Nvidia. I can't stress enough. We have not started the game. We just got done with the warm-ups.
The future is here. The singularity is coming. Grab your copy today, available now on Amazon in Kindle, print, or Audible. Unlock the future, one page at a time. What will you build tomorrow?